Hello everybody, this is Maniac for Bricks, and we're here today with another Collect-A-Thon video. Now I know I do a lot of Bionicle content on the channel when it comes to LEGO videos, and it seems like a lot of times I really enjoy Bionicle, and from years before or years current, it seems that, for the most part, I have something good to say for a majority of the figures. This is where things go wrong. These are some of my least favorite of Bionicle figures ever. G1, G2, ever. Promotional figures, official releases, ever. So what do we have here today? Well, I wanted to at least show all of them off to get the colors, but let's be honest, you only need one or two of these to really review all of them. These are the Rahaga, which were released in 2006. Each figure has 28 pieces exactly, no piece difference between any of them, and they were all released with the $4 price point of 2006. They were in small box sets, and they're supposed to be kind of assistants with the larger hqzHhB sets. Now, as far as story goes, these used to be a group of Toa called the Rahaga, and at least we hear about in story, they previously encountered Sidorak, Rahaga, and the Visorak Horde, and were captured and transformed into these smaller forms, so that they're practically powerless. And they don't have, the same elemental abilities as Toa and so on. So, they return to Metru Nui, with the hqzHhB, in order to do two things. Number one, they hid the Mask of Light, throughout the city. They had different stones that would unlock a door that would unveil the Mask of Light. And they wanted to find that before the Visorak did. So, they tasked that with the hqzHhB, who go around to find each of the stones. There were 6 of them to collect, and yeah, they got the mask. And then they brought it with them to Madanui later. They also came to find the mysterious Kitongu. He was known as a legend, basically a very intelligent Rahi, which also had some mystical power to him. And he was going to be the guy to go to for the hqzHhB so that they can turn back into the Toa Metru, because as hqzHhB, they were kind of mutated. So, I don't really know if it would serve any purpose for these guys, because they're mutated, essentially, but I digress. Now, as far as the figures' names go, at least they have names. We have Gaaki, Iruni, Norik, Kualus, Bomonga, and Pouks. Now, only Iruni and Norik had Toa versions, so we got to see what they used to look like before the Rahaga. They were released as a 50th anniversary LEGO set as two, regular-sized Toa figures. And they also had spinners with them. They had some large staves. They were pretty cool-looking sets. These, not so much. We got these first, and then we got those later in the year. Now, there's really nothing to these figures. Look at this. Now, look at how little is actually built here. I said there's 28 pieces, but you really gotta look around and see how there's almost no torso, almost no body. Without this element on the back, it's kind of strange, really, with all these limbs that just fit together. And with that, they don't really have a lot of articulation for these smaller figures. Now, that's kind of to be expected for smaller figures like these, but there's no variance between any of these. You could argue, yeah, there are a lot of waves of Bionicle where some of the figures were exactly the same as each other. Well, I say there is no variance because even as the staves go, well, not only are they reused pieces pretty much all the way over, and the only ones that are actually unique are any that are brown, dark blue, dark green, and dark red that weren't previously released. They did have some recolors, so that's a plus. But that's probably one of the few pluses, is that you have a couple more parts to reuse for building. But the stave's shape lines up with the color the same way the Rakshi do. Now, you remember in 2003, there were figures called Rakshi, and kind of, these look like chibi versions of them, let's be honest. Because, the blue one would have this kind of staff, the green one had this kind of staff, the red one had this kind of staff, and so on. So, it's even less varied compared to other figures. They are so boring. It's, ugh. And that's not even the icing on the cake. Now, they do have some articulation, 2 in the arms, 2 in the legs, and 1 in the head. And you can tilt the heads pretty much from side to side. So, you got that. And you got a little bit of eyes in there, so easy to see. I think the orange that's supposed to be behind them is not only just to save on parts being produced, but also allows you to, if you have it just at the right angle, kind of see that orange through the eyes. I think that's the implication there, or at least how they tried to use it for marketing, but not great. They're not really going to help that much, and I don't think it really works that well with the rest of the color scheme if it's not attached to that, head feature, if you may. The icing on the cake comes with the spinners. Now, each of these do have their own spinners, some of them different colors, some of them the same. These 2 have the same silver color that is included in other sets. This one brown, white, red, green, appropriately. And each of those spinners, all 6 of them, have spinners with a small code that you can use online with the Bionicle website, get some exclusives like wallpapers and so on, exclusive downloads. So that's cool. The spinners themselves are a thing, that doesn't always work. In fact, I find it to work very little of the time. So, you basically have this spinner, attaches onto here, you have the ripcord that goes into the back, and then you just simply pull it. And that's it. You don't actually fly it through the air. No, you were expecting it to fly? Yeah, me too. This is the 3rd time I'm recording this specific video, and I have tried with almost all of these figures in different combinations of the spinners and ripcords, and this still doesn't work every time. In fact, it's only worked maybe 3 or 4 times with this figure, and even at that, didn't really go that far. I've had it in the past. I remember when these sets came out, they would fly maybe 7 feet in the air at best, depending on the room that you have. So, it was alright, but these are really stuck in there. And you kind of think, oh, well, if they're that stuck in there, maybe you can loosen them up. No, not really. That's pretty darn loose. I don't understand. Maybe the function just doesn't work so well. Maybe there's not enough spin to it, but you really do have to spin these babies hard to actually get somewhere. You can kind of see it rising up from there, but not enough to actually take off on its own. And that's what's frustrating. That's probably the most frustrating thing about these figures. The small gimmick that they have doesn't even work. Now, as far as the story goes, they actually do have a purpose. I don't know if they're used as Rotuka spinners the way they are for Torahurika, Vizorak, and other creatures from that same line. But for these, at least in Bionicle Web of Shadows, they are supposed to be propellers, like a little backpack or something that has a propeller, so they are actually able to fly. They also have lights on them, but again, that's really just for the movie. And they're also apparently really strong, because I think they can actually carry the tower pretty well. So I find that pretty peculiar. Even, despite their size, they actually have a lot of strength to them. But still, I can't. I don't care that he fell. That's fine. Now, I was trying to keep this from being a rant, but I thought it would actually be a little bit more fun just to really show how I feel about these. This is just disgraceful. They do absolutely nothing unique between each of the figures. The play feature doesn't always work. These are ones you want to pass up. If you're even vaguely a Bionicle fan, I wouldn't recommend these. I wouldn't say, oh, give it a taste and then you'll get the idea for more Bionicle sets. No, these are awful for that taste. Just pass them. Even if you are an avid Bionicle fan and want to collect a lot of the figures, if not all of them, skip these. They don't contribute too much to the story that you really need to have them. And, well, you got a lot better ways to spend your money when you're looking for Lego online. Let's be honest. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed whatever this was. And we'll see you next time with more videos. I can't really ask you which one is your favorite in the comments below, because if you like one, you like them all. They're the same thing. Maybe you like the colors better. Let's put it that way. Which one do you like better because of the colors? I don't even know where that brown one went. He's just gone. completely, like, I'm looking around, it's completely disappeared. Alright, we'll see you next time with more videos. You can check out other Bionicle stuff on my channel. There will be other Collect-A-Thons, so stay subscribed and hit the bell so you can get notified when new videos air on the channel. This is going to be a fun one for an upcoming video for sure. And if it's already up, you can check out the worst Bionicle sets video up in the cards up there. I'm sure I'll have that up by now. Oh boy.